how to make sure your work is framed correctly when you are putting entries into this year's juried exhibition. So when you're entering work into the juried exhibition, it's really important to have it framed correctly. And framed correctly differs with different types of media. So for instance, if you have work on paper, if you have either, this is a lino cut, or if you have a watercolor painting or any kind of pencil drawing, anything that's on paper, this needs to be framed under glass to protect it. And it also needs a mat, such as this. The purpose of the mat is partly to make the presentation look better, but also to keep the glass off the piece of paper. So you would have your paper, you'd have a mat, you'd have a backing board, and altogether they would be put together in a frame so that you'll have something like this at the end. This one on the back has wire, places to put the wire that are part of the frame. So it comes all as a package, and you just attach the wire on the back. And also you'll have your labels on the back. So again, anything under glass, anything that's on paper needs to be put under glass like this. One of the main reasons for framing properly is to protect your piece of paper, but it's also to make sure that you show off your art to the best possible extent, because you want the jurors to select your piece to come in the show. And it also shows that you respect your art and you're taking the best care of it. If you have something that's on a board like this is a canvas board. This is oil. If it's oil or acrylic, it doesn't need to go under glass, but something thin like this does need to go in a frame. So I have one here. This also is on a board. As you can see, it's in a wooden frame. And on the back, it has what are called D-rings. These are really important for holding the wire. D-ring, they come in different sizes, but that's a fairly medium-sized one there. And the piece of wire across the back. If you have pieces of art that are on stretched canvas, the narrower stretched canvas, this width here, or if it's on a wooden panel, also about that size, those need to go in a frame. They're too thin to be left on their own. They need to go into a frame. If you have a wider canvas like this is a gallery canvas, anything that's more than about 1.5 inches deep, you can get away without putting that in a frame. But you do need to finish the sides. So for instance, this one is acrylic on a stretched canvas. And you can see that the sides are painted to coordinate with the painting on the front. And again, there are D-rings on the back and a wire going across the back. So as far as the hanging, this is what we need to have works framed as. So no little zigzag hangers or other types of hangers. It needs to be a wire across the back held in place by D-rings. And in terms of the frames themselves, make sure that your frame is really sturdy. I think on our whole list of details it says no IKEA frames. That's not so much a dissing IKEA, but just to make sure that your frame is sturdy and that it's thick enough to hold the glass, the mat, or the board, or the thinner canvas, just to make sure that it's not going to fall apart when we hang it on the wall. And I think that might be the main points I wanted to make. Oh, and for the mats, again, you really should be working with acid-free material. So acid-free mats and acid-free backing. And of course, you're creating your art on acid-free paper. The details of all of this are on our website, and you can look there for the actual nitty-gritty details. But I hope that'll give you an idea of the type of framing that is acceptable. You don't want to come with your piece for the juried exhibition and have it turned away because it's not framed properly. And I hope that you consider entering the juried exhibition.